everybody, welcome to another edition of Toddster's Magical Mystery Review. I'm your host Toddster, and today we're going to take a look at George Harrison's Somewhere in England. It came out June 1st, 1981 on Dark Horse Records. And so this was the first album to be put out by an ex-Beatle after John's death. And this album was George had a pretty difficult time with this album. He made most of the album throughout 1980, and was to be put out in November of that year. Sort of like around the same time John put out Double Fantasy. So yeah, imagine what it'd be like, two albums by two ex-Beatles out at the same time. But unfortunately, the executives in Warner Brothers had rejected it. They said that they didn't hear a hit, and some of the songs were a bit depressing. So they asked George, make some more up-tempo numbers, so to speak. And yet George dropped a few songs in favor of those up-tempo numbers. And yeah, but as far as the album, well, it's an okay album. But yeah, let's get into the songs. So we start off with one of the up-tempo numbers that George wrote, Blood from a Clone. Now this is George's little commentary to the Warner Brothers executive, and and you can tell his frustration in this song, as sort of like how he's really frustrated with the whole music industry, but still, it's a very good song. And then we go into Unconsciousness Rules. Nothing much to say about this, but maybe to me it's sort of like George's disillusion on the whole punk rock movement. To me, I could hear it in the lyrics. You dance around the discotheque, and yet your clothes are dirty and torn and all that. But we go into a gorgeous ballad, and life itself, and sort of like a love song to God and other spiritual figures, and the slide guitars in here are beautifully played. Yeah, to me it's the best song on the album. And then we go into the big single, All Those Years Ago, which George wrote for Ringo originally, but Ringo thought it was a bit too high for his voice, and yet in the wake of John's death, George rewritten the song, and also features Paul and Linda and Denny Lane on the backing vocals. It's a very touching song, yet to me should have been played in a more slower tempo, but this is another song for those executives, so has to be up tempo. So and then we go into one of the two Hoagy Carmichael covers on this album, Baltimore Oriole, and Hoagy Carmichael had been one of George's favorite songwriters, so I guess he had the knack to record some of his songs for this album. It's an okay tune. So that's the first side. So we flip the record. We go into Teardrops, another song made for the revamped album, which really doesn't go anywhere to my opinion. So we move on to another song for the revamped album, That Which I Have Lost. Yeah, so this could be seen as sort of like a spiritual awakening song, if when you look at the lyrics. Yeah, again, should have been played in a more slower tempo, but that's my opinion. But and then we go into The Writings on the Wall. Yes, another song dealing with spirituality, but yes, also deals with death and loss of friend. But actually, this was written before John had died. So anyway, then we go into the other Carmichael cover, Hong Kong Blues, and to me it's sort of like a predecessor to like one of George's handmade films, Shanghai Surprise, which is, you know, the famous flop with, you know, Madonna and Sean Penn years later. And then we end the album with Save the World. Yes, this is George's environmental protest song, you know, sort of like against nuclear bombs and political machinery, and you know, sort of deals with, you know, sort of a natural environment and all that. Yeah, it's another okay tune. And then we go into the bonus songs, and we go with the demo version of Save the World, which is a very nice demo. And then we go into one of the songs rejected by Warner Brothers. Yeah, so it's Flying Hour, but to me, they should have left this on the album. You know, it started off as a jam between George and Mick Welfs from Bad Company, who was one of George's neighbors. And yeah, so, and it's inspired by a Frank Crisp quote, which was embodied on a clock tower in his Fire Park home. Yeah, this should have been on the album. I'd rather have this than Teardrops on the album, but but there we are then. So yeah, so what to say? Well, as I said, it's an okay album, yet I think the original album that should have been out could have been better. You know, had it come out instead. But still, some good songs in here. So as far as my rating, I'm gonna give this 2.5 Georges out of 5. So 2.5 George for Somewhere in England. Yeah. So my name is Toddster, and you just watched another Magical Mystery review, and we'll see you next time. Until then, toodaloo.